This is our factoring project by Sarah, Josie, and Presley. Our first lesson that we did is 8.5 day 1. Our first example is 27xy and 36x. The greatest common factor is 9x because 9 times 3 equals 27 and 9 times 4 equals 36. And they both have x in it, so that leads to the answer of 9x. Our second example is 15ab, 25abc, and 50ab to the second power. The GCF is 5ab because 5 times 3 equals 15, 5 times 5 equals 25, and 5 times 10 is 50. So if you put, and plus they all have AB, so the answer is 5AB. Our second lesson that we did was 8.5 day 2. Our first example is BC plus BD plus 4C and 4D. You have to group the numbers and letters, and it's BC plus BD and 4C plus 4D. The GCF of BC plus BD is B, and B is CD. GCF of 4C and 4D is 4, because 4 goes into C and D. BCD plus 4CD, and the answer is CD, and then 4B plus 4. Our second example is 7n is equal to negative 56n to the second power. You add 56n to the second to both sides, and then you get the answer of 0 because you're using the 0 example for whatever. And then the GCF is 7n because they both can be divided by 7n. 7n goes into 7 once, and then 7n goes into 56n 8 times, and that equals 0. So you do it on both sides, and you have 7n equals 0, and then 1 plus 8n equals 0. And the 7n equals 0 is just 0 because you divide both sides by 7, and that equals 0. And then you do minus 1 to both sides, and then you get 8n equals negative 1, and you divide both by 8, and then you get negative 1/8. So the answer is 0 and negative 1/8. One of our last ones is 8.6. The first example is k to the second plus 10k plus 25, which numbers add up to 10 but multiply to get 25. Which numbers add up to 10 but multiply to get 25? 5 and 5. Because if you do 5 times 5, that would be 25, and then if you do 5 plus 5, it'd be 10. So you would do this, you would put k both sides right here, and then you put 5 on both sides, and that is the answer to this. So k plus 5, k plus 5. The second example is j to the second minus 5j equals 6. You subtract 6 over because you need to get it to equal to 0. Which numbers add up to negative 5 but multiply to get negative 6? Negative 2 and 3 wouldn't work, so it would be a negative, or 1 and negative 6. J plus 1 and then j minus 6, if you do it by j times 6 and then 1 times j, and then you add them, it equals negative 5j. So the answer is j plus 1 and j minus 6. And then these are some complex polynomials. Our first example is 2x to the second minus 32. The GCF is 2 because 2 goes into 2 once, so it would be that, or x to the second, and then 16 goes into 32 twice. So that's how they're both divisible by 2. But then 16 is an even square, so you put it equal to 4 to the second power, because 4 to the second power is 16. So you do the difference of squares, and you get x minus 4 and x plus 4, but don't forget the 2, and put the 2 at the beginning, and that's your answer. Example number 2 is 6c to the third plus 6c to the second plus 4c plus 4. The GCF of all of them are 2 because 2 can go into 6 3 times, same with this one, and then 2 can go in 4 2 times, and same with that one. But you factor it by grouping, so you get 2, 3, c to the second plus 2, and then c plus 1, and that would be your answer.